Well, good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Oh, I can't decide right now where I want to park exactly to talk to you guys because we have a topic. Let's actually park here so no one can bother us. In this video today, we are here to talk about the recently announced 2021 GMC Yukon and Yukon XL from General Motors. Before that, they had also announced the 2021 or the 2020 Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban, and obviously when refreshes like that happen, pretty much their entire lineup gets refreshed too. Kind of like what they did with the Silverado and the Sierra, and now the same is for the Tahoe and the Yukon. And I know the Escalade at one point should be debuting pretty soon. I think it was next month, so can't wait to see that too. But for now, let's talk about the GMC Yukon. Excuse me if you see me looking at my phone over here, because I did take some notes on what was mentioned about these new vehicles and just wanted to make sure I give you guys the best accurate details. And I don't want to risk speaking these out loud, trying to think while trying to drive on the road at the same time. And what a great way to start early this morning in the nice, as you can see, 17-degree weather, than to talk about some new cars. So let's start off with the engine choices of the 2021 GMC Yukon and Yukon XL. So obviously they got a redesign, but we'll go over that a little bit later. I just wanted to talk about the three engine choices first. So you got a 6.2 liter V8 that puts out 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. Second option is a 5.3 liter V8 at 355 horsepower and puts out 383 pound-feet of torque. Then you also have a 3 liter turbo diesel inline 6 at 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. All of these pair to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Let's go ahead and talk about some exterior differences. Measurements, let's start off with the Yukon. So it has a wheelbase that is 120.9 inches long, making the total length 210 inches. Cargo room, you get 123 cubic feet. As far as measurements for the Yukon XL, being a longer wheelbase, you have 134.1 inches with a total length of being 224.3 inches. Cargo room being at 145 cubic feet. So pretty spacious, a little bit increased than what you would find on the outgoing models. Now, they did put in some new features, or additional features, I should say, into the GMC Yukon that will make it differentiate a little bit more than the Tahoe and Suburban. So in the past, we've seen the Tahoe and Suburban, along with the Yukon and the Yukon XL, kind of be like very similar, but just different branded, and one has better material than the other, but they were able to make it a little bit more differentiated by adding a few things. So one of them being an active response four-wheel drive system. It basically combines the magnetic ride control, electronic limited slip differential, and it has an air suspension to provide ride comfort. It also has an independent rear suspension, just like the Tahoe and Suburban, and it has an adjustable air suspension. With the adjustable air suspension, the truck itself can raise itself 2 inches for more ride height. When it's in four-wheel drive low, the height can drop down 0.7 inches on highway speeds. It has a self-leveling feature as well for easier loading / unloading. Really, they put in some features that can have the car work itself to make it a little bit easier for whatever needs that you need that situation for. Before I get onto the interior, I wanted to discuss the exterior design, because obviously when comparing this to the Tahoe and Suburban, they're going to be similar within design, except I have to say I'm very blown away by the GMC Yukon. So I don't know if I mentioned it in my Tahoe and Suburban first impressions video. Obviously, I like the design, and it's definitely something that you would find within the Silverado as far as the front grille is concerned. And depending on which trim level you get, it depends on like what you desire on the front to look like. But I will say this though, because, and I've said this in the past, the GMC styling always has, in my opinion, the better styling than the Chevy does. That can vary from vehicle to vehicle, but as far as the new ones that have been coming out lately, I really do love the front look of the GMC grille versus the Chevy Tahoe and Suburban. Whether that's the Denali trim or the SLT trim, the AT4 trim, which the AT4 is actually coming to the Yukon for the first time, it has that nice bold look that makes the front look mean. Now, don't get me wrong, the Tahoe and Suburban look great as always. I just like the GMC styling better. With the addition of some of these additional features, differentiating it more from the Tahoe and Suburban, then it's really gonna get buyers to start thinking about, oh, okay, do I really want a Yukon or do I really want a Tahoe? Do I really need the air suspension feature where the car can raise itself and drop down in height from time to time? That's good because it gives customers a choice as far as what the needs are, because really in the past, I feel like you would get one over the other due to the branding sometimes. Depending on if you like the GMC branding better, if you like the Chevrolet branding better. The only vehicle that was able to differentiate themselves within that lineup is the Escalade. Like, they did a great job on the Escalade with the current generation that's out there right now to differentiate it completely from the Tahoe and Suburban. And then you can pick your differences, such as, okay, do I want the Q system that has all the touch buttons versus having the physical buttons or knobs that you would find in the Yukon and the Tahoe? GM is really giving buyers more choices when it comes to which one you want to get. And as far as design wise, I really love the front. The back, I'd say, is a lot better than the Tahoe and Suburban. For whatever reason, although they look the same, but just with different badges, something about having the GMC logo on the back, it really gets me engaged when it comes to looking at the vehicle than the Tahoe and Suburban did. Although the back of the Tahoe does look good, I think what got me the most is the front. The way the front on the GMC looks than the Chevy. Other than that, the sides, they both look pretty much identical. Mirror seems to be a little bit on the small size, but then again, it's probably one of those things that I just have to get used to. But what do you guys think about the exterior design of the GMC Yukon? And do you like this better than what you've seen on the Tahoe and Suburban? Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. All right, so next, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. A couple features that I wanted to mention here and there before discussing the design. They're gonna have a power sliding center console in the following trims, which is the Denali trim, AT4 trim, SLT, and it is like 10 inches deep as far as storage space is concerned, and there's more storage underneath the floor of this part. So not only do you have the center console with a power sliding cover, you also have additional storage underneath that center console. Now, as far as the Denali trim is concerned, you do have a few extra features in there, such as a high-def 360-degree camera. Then you have a 15-inch multicolor heads-up display. That's if you option out for that feature to have the heads-up display right in front of you. And then you have rear pedestrian alerts. So let's go over the interior designs. If you were to look at other trims other than the Denali trim from what I've seen so far, it looks similar to the Tahoe and Suburban until you get the Denali trim. Now, this will really get buyers to really think about the Denali trim, depending if they desire to have that kind of look. It's versus having the screen that was like on the top and kind of open, they kind of mounted that into the dash completely and kind of just put it in there without it popping out on the top right here. And I will say this, I think that looks a lot better than what was initially being done for the Tahoe and Suburban, and now like the non-Denali trims for the GMC Yukon. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad, it looks good. I just like this style better on the Denali, only because it's a little bit cleaner when you have everything on the center itself versus having the screen poking up on the top of the dash, and then you have your radio controls underneath the screen. I just feel like the way they made the Denali interior is a lot cleaner of a look, in my opinion. Of course, as far as the gear shifter is concerned, you do have the button gear shifter, so no more column shifter on the Yukon and the Yukon XL anymore. Other than that, the rest of the interior is pretty much straightforward compared to the Tahoe and Suburban. And with the Denali trim, from what press have been saying who have seen the vehicle, they really like the leather stitching. Very high quality leather from what I've heard. So that's good on that. As far as legroom is concerned, it's pretty much the same thing as the Tahoe and Suburban. They were able to increase it by not having that rear live axle anymore, and now they're on an independent suspension. What do you guys think about the interior? Feel free to share your thoughts down below. Now, as far as pricing is concerned, we don't have any info on that as of right now. Fuel economy, I don't have that as well. I'm expecting to see more of that info come out as we get towards the launch of the vehicles themselves, which I read it should be coming out in the summertime. So once summer hits, these vehicles show up in the showrooms. Hopefully we can take a trip down to whatever dealership that has it, and then we can take a look on the outside in person. Other than that, that's all I had for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this video, feel free to hit that like button down below and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, check out the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.